Thank you to my brother for sponsoring today's video. More on this later. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own hair jigs on the cheap. You can certainly buy hair jigs in a variety of sizes and colors, but making them gives you the freedom and creativity to customize and create something tailored to your exact needs and imagination that you will certainly never find on the shelves at the store. In the long run, making something yourself may also be more cost-effective than buying new ones all the time. It's up to you to determine if the product you're making is more valuable to you than the time you're putting in and the cost of the materials. In my case, today I'm going to tie a very common and effective hair jig for smallmouth bass that is traditionally tied with black marabou. And because my brother just got a major haircut and his hair is dark and soft, it will work as a great substitute and will have its own unique look that can't be replicated. So I'd like to thank my brother Mikael for indirectly sponsoring today's video. This video would not be possible without you. When making things on a budget, it's all about finding suitable replacements for things you would typically need to buy. However, sometimes you do need to use the right tool for the job. But in this case, you can make some pretty unique hair jigs with your hair, your pet's hair, your friend's hair, and even roadkill. In today's DIY build, I used a jig head, of course, that I will be using to tie this jig with, a vise or something to secure the hook with while tying. In my case, I don't have an actual fly tying vise, so I'm using a substitute. And I'm just using 2 small blocks of hardwood to protect the hook from the rugged jaws and to help secure it even better. The hair or hairs you will be using to tie onto your hook, some tying thread used to secure the hair to the hook. There actually is specific tying thread that fly fishermen use for tying flies that you can purchase in a variety of strengths, colors, and materials, but in this case I'm using some old braided fishing line. I've done this previously with sewing thread as well. Just make sure that the thread has a good strength and won't break on you easily. And just for good measure, a bit of epoxy or super glue to make sure the thread wrappings hold permanently. The first step is to secure the hook nicely in the vise like so. Next, you want to start making some wraps on the bare hook shank, starting from the neck and moving down but not too far because all of our tying will be done in this area. This gets the thread started and secured to the hook while also creating a rougher base for the hair to cling to rather than sitting on the slippery hook shank. There are actually tools that help you wrap thread more elegantly, but on a budget we can do a decent job without it. Next, you need to start processing the hair. So take the hair and lay it on the hook shank to gauge how much material and the length of the material you want to use. If the material you are using is quite long and you don't plan to be making your hair jig that long, you may want to roughly cut your desired amount off from the bunch, plus an inch or so of excess, as it will be easier to handle when tying. When it comes to how much material to tie, it is best to tie on small portions of hair at a time, rather than to try and tie one huge amount. This will allow most threads to be properly secured to the hook and will prevent from hair falling out or being easily pulled out. Place the portion of hair down on the neck of the jig head. When doing your first couple wraps, do a loose one first and the second time round, come down to cinch it in place. The hair will likely want to turn in the direction of your wraps like this. So keep that in mind when placing your hair so it can settle exactly where you intended. After that, do a few more firm wraps to secure that section in place. Repeat this step as many times as needed in order to fill the hook with as much material as you like. Just a note of caution, be careful not to overdo it. To secure your line when you're finished, there are many knots out there and ways you can finish things off. But my go-to is a finishing whip, and there is a great video online that really explains how to tie it with the designated tool for that knot and with bare fingers very well. This video will be linked below or in the cards. Lastly, you can put a few drops of glue or whatever you got handy that will secure all your wraps even more. Be careful if the glue is too liquid, as it can run into the hair, clump it all together, and decrease the action. And voila! You've not only made yourself a hair jig that will catch you fish, but you've also been creative and expanded your mind, created something so unique that no one else can buy, saved some money while doing it, and did a fun little craft. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, and consider subscribing. Drop a comment and let me know what kind of DIY tackle you make or that I should make next. Have a good one, and God bless you. Okay.